Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I'm taking part in the Stamp Around the UK video hop. So once a month, a group of friends and I come together, we have a theme and we create a video and we pop it into a hop sequence. So if you go down below into the description bar, you will see all my talented friends' YouTube channels listed there, and you can hop from one to the other and see what they've all done with the theme for this month. The theme for this month is texture, and I haven't really worked this out in my head yet. I've just grabbed a load of products that I think could help add texture to my card. So I've picked up the Artistically Inked Cling Stamp set. This is a distinctive stamp set. It's a new one from the new annual catalogue, and I just think this will really help in getting some background texture onto my card. I've picked up my mini embossing folders because I've got my mini cut and emboss machine on my desk, so I thought these are quite handy, and embossing folders are great for adding textures. These are the checks and the dots ones. And then I grabbed these actually. I love these. I did not get the coordinating stamp set because I just purely love the dies. They are the Encircled in Beauty dies, and they're like a doily, but look at the amount of detail and texture that are in those. So I'm looking forward to using those. I've also got some DSP, some blank whisper white, no, blank basic white. I will get there with this, and I've just got a panel of whisper white as well. So let's get started, see where we go. I've picked up some vellum, and I've also picked up my my brush. So let's get started, see what we end up with. So I'm going to start with the base card piece. So this is 10.5 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters. So it will be the exact same size as my base cardstock. And I'm just going to grab some scrap grid paper so that I don't get my bottom grid paper dirty. And I'm going to be using this one here. I've said on quite a few videos before, I just love this. I mean, I love the whole stamp set, but I love this one. I think it's beautiful. So I'm just lining that up. I'm using a eye block, and I've got my scrap piece of DSP. I just grabbed this one as a scrap piece. So I'm going to pick up Soft Succulent as well, so it matches. And what I'm going to do, actually, let's have a think about this. Let's be sensible. Let's think it through. So my mini embossing folders, and I'm going to pop that in there to emboss. So that actual strip, so that strip was 7.5 centimeters. That's about right. So I'm actually going to pop that on the card about there. I'm going to grab a post-it note and my snips, and I'm just going to grab the adhesive strip bit up here. So this is all the tacky bit, and I'm just going to cut a few little pieces like that. So I'm just going to line this up where I want it on my card. So probably about there, I think, maybe. I know I don't want it in the middle, I want it kind of just off center. So let me just line that up. That's about it. I'm just using a tacky bit just to stick this down where I want it. And then I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp it over my two bases that are together. Like that. So you've just got this on the one topping and off on the other bit. Let's just do it in a few places. Happy with that, like that. Right, so I can take this off now. Post-it notes are great for this, by the way, because they're adhesive. They hold it in place, but they don't harm your cardstock. You've got no risk of your cardstock ripping with Post-it notes. It holds it on quite nicely. So I'm now just going to chop this down so it is the right size. Perhaps should have done that first, but I didn't really think about that. There we go. And now I'm going to bring in my mini cut and emboss machine. I'm going to be using the dots. So there's the two in the pack. You get two, you get the dots and you get the checks. I'm using the dots. And I'm just going to sort out my plates. So the white one is if you're doing die cutting. It does tell you on here. So this is the die cutting. This one here is if you're using embossing folders and embossing folders. So this one must be the textured embossing folders because it's thinner. This one will be the one we want. I haven't used embossing folders in my machine yet, so it's new to me too. And you want to pop it in hinge first, it says on the instructions. So you want to make sure you've got this the way you want it. Okay, you'll be able to feel quite easy. This is where the dots are raised. So if I put it in there, I'm going to get dots as an imprint. If I turn it around that way, I'm going to get dots that are popped up, and that's what I want. So line that up so it is quite straight on my dots. Pop that down, that down, that down, and in we go. Hopefully I've got it with the right base. If not, I'll have to just quickly, I haven't. Oh, don't say I pushed it too much. Right, quickly change it over, put it through with the other base. Let's see how we go with that. See, it's all a nice learning technique. You learn these things as you go, don't you? I say you learn these things as you go. Check that. I'm not moving. I'm clearly not very great at this one. I haven't used embossing folders in my mini cut and emboss machine yet, as you can probably tell. So it's a learning curve. We'll get there. I'm just going to stagger the plates so it goes through a lot easier. There we go. If in doubt, stagger, and that's what I mean. I've got the base just a little bit more, the bottom plate just a little bit more, the top plate just a little bit more, and the hinge just there. So it is staggered as it goes through the machine. Nothing like learning these handy tips together, is it? So let's have a look. There we go. Already, so that's nice and textured already, and not lined up right. There we go. That's how we had it, wasn't it? So my DSP, I think I want that just cut in a very slight strip. I don't think I want all of it underneath there. So let me grab my mini guillotine, and I am just going to chop a tiny bit off this. So this is scrap DSP that I've used on another project. It is going to just be, I've done it at 1 centimetre, and I'm also going to cut it so it's the length of my card. And I'm going to put it down there. And it's quite good to do this actually, because when you actually do stamping, so I've stuck this piece down to stamp on top, you do get, if you just have a quick look, you do get a little bit of an edge that doesn't touch. So it is always nice just to use a bit of a mask on that itself. So let me just grab some adhesive, run this down the back of the DSP. And stick that against those stamped lines there. using my grid paper just to line up and double check it is definitely straight. And then that will just go on top quite nicely, like that. Definitely textured, this card. Look at that. That's 3 textures already plus a distinctive stamp. Quite like it actually so far. What's your thoughts? Do you like it? Okay. Next bit. It's mine circled with beauty dies. Now these are gorgeous. So let me just explain to you. You've actually got that die there, but you've also got one that will go round it and cut out a larger doily shape. So there you go, it fits just around it. So I'm actually going to run that through the die cut machine like that, and I'm going to do it with the vellum. So I'm actually going to do this off screen because I'm having to use my bigger machine for this as opposed to the mini. The mini is just a bit too small for these dies, so I'm just running it through the main one, and unfortunately that means I can't fit it on my desk for you, but you'll be able to see what it looks like when it comes out. So, and I'm doing it in vellum. Do you like vellum? I just think it's really subtle and it adds really nice detail, vellum. So I am a fan whenever I can put it on a project. Here we go. Ah, okay. My mistake. I haven't used my shim because I'm not sure where I've put it. So I'm just going to grab another piece of vellum and I'll tell you what you can do if you haven't got a shim. So let me cut another piece down and I can explain this to you. We're learning as we go with this one, aren't we? I did say I didn't really have much of a plan with it, so preempted this. Okay, 4 inches by 4 inches. Let's cut that down. Okay. So what you can do with this, if you don't have a shim, is you can pop it back through your machine. Make sure it's lined up properly. But instead, you want to grab a scrap piece of cardstock. So I've got a scrap piece of cardstock here. I'm going to make my sandwich. So I'm going to pop that on the base. Pop my other plate on top. Like that, and I'm just going to add the scrap piece of cardstocks underneath, and it's just going to give it a bit more tension as it goes through the machine. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do that off screen, and keep your fingers crossed this time, everybody. Keep your fingers crossed. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to run it back and forth a couple of times as well, so it just gets a definite impression on it. It's because vellum is so thin, and also because these dies are so detailed, that that's happened. So, oh, that's definitely got lots of tension this time, I can tell you. Okay, so let's just check that out. There you are, it's worked this time. See? Cut it out lovely. Just going to move all of that off. But I am going to keep that little vellum circle that's just come out the middle. I don't know whether I'm going to use it on this card, but I'm sure there will be a place for it somewhere in a few minutes' time. Okay, so that will go quite nicely onto there. I want a sentiment, so I'm trying to work out where I can put that. I'm going to come back to it If it doesn't get used on this card, it will get used on one of the cards. I'm going to wrap some ribbon around as well. So I've got the soft succulent ribbon that matches. This is the open weave ribbon. But I need a sentiment. So where's my... Right, what we're going to do, I think I'm going to do hello. Nice and simple. I was thinking about heat embossing it to add more texture onto it, but I'm not going to. Sometimes I think you can overdo things, you know, you can just do too much. So I'm just going to grab a strip of basic white to check that fits in. It does. Soft succulent. Hello. Oh, that's a nice hello. That's really nice and crisp. Glad I chose that one. Might have took a few seconds of me staring at it, but I'm very glad I chose that one. Just going to put a little tag tail in that. Right, that is where, just where my finger is where I want my ribbon to go. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue across there so I can see it. Just drop the ribbon over that. And then what I'm going to do, because I do like adding texture to these sort of cards loads, is I'm actually going to use some twine as well. So I'm just going to pop a bit of glue on top of that ribbon and then pop the twine across. And you'll notice I put the glue exactly where I knew the sentiment was going to go. Okay, so this is going to go just there. I'm having it overhang the card slightly, not by much, but I am having it overhang slightly. So I'm just going to grab a couple of glue dots and my take a pick tool. And I'm just going to pop a couple of glue dots in one just there. It's very hard sometimes with vellum to put glue dots on. Sometimes very hard to stick down because you can always see where the adhesive is. So I've put two sort of either side so that I'm working out I can stick those against the ribbon. And that should just hide that glue bit. Oh, my twine. Let's just move that off, put that up a bit. Okay, there we go. Right, I'm going to put another glue dot over there just to keep both the twine, the ribbon and the vellum in place. I'm going to turn that down and stick that twine and ribbon down before I go any further, otherwise I'm going to end up in a muddle. Ribbon first, twine second, and then I'm actually going to, while I'm here, I'm just going to pop glue across the whole of the back and get that stuck down onto my card base. I'll get there in the end, I will. Considering we didn't know where we're going, I'm actually really quite chuffed with this card. I think it's really pretty and it's really intricate. I think it's very unusual for, it's not like normally my style. I quite like it. This is why I quite like doing these sort of challenges, actually. It challenges you to do something different. So I'm just going to chop off the bits of my doily that overhang. Yeah, it's something very different to my usual style, and I always think that that's a nice little challenge when you do something like that. So I'm just going to pop the hello on, and I'm going to put that up on a couple of dimensionals. New dimensional pack. I feel like I've been using the edges of all my old dimensional packs now for weeks, so I'm dead excited that I can start a new one. I'm going to finish this one before I start on the next one this time. I'm not going to have loads of little pieces left again, I hope. So I want a little bow done out of the twine. I don't think I want one on the ribbon, just on the twine. I only sort of want a little one as well, just a teeny one. There we go, that would do. And a glue dot. Just going to pop that underneath the sentiment so it pops out from the side of it. Like that. Now, just as a finish up thing, I have got this pack here. It's called the Expressions in Ink, that word pack. And you have these sort of gold bits in it, but you also have these white bits, and I was thinking about using one or two of these on this card. You know, it means it's textures. Just push one of these out. I don't know whether I want to use it on the white side or whether I want to use it on the gold side. I haven't really made my mind up yet. I think it's a waste if I use it on the white side, because the gold side is just, oh, it's just beautiful. Oh, that just takes it to a new level. I'm so happy about that. I'm just literally going to put one on. And it comes with some iridescent double-sided adhesive back sequins. So they're staying out because I'm going to use those. So I want another glue dot just to put that gold bit in. Considering I was going to turn it over and use the white bit. Would have been completely lost. I think it's so pretty. Right. Look at it, look at it, look at it. Oh, I think that's beautiful. That's the first thing I've used from that pack, by the way. Very happy that I've used it. Let's work out how to get into these. And pick a few of these up and just dot them around. I'm actually going to put them on the dots of the embossing folder. Not all the dots, obviously, but just a few of them, and I'm going to pop it on top of the dots so it's where they sort of already pop up, just to add some sort of, you know, glamour. You see those? They look quite nice, I think. I'm going to pop one over inside the doily as well. In there. Okay, I think that's it. Don't think I'm going to go much further with it. Oh, I know what I will do. I'm going to use some of my Shimmery Crystal Effects, and I'm going to pop some dots on it. Or I thought it was. Let's wipe that off. That didn't go very well as planned. I didn't have a steady hand, so dot. Oh, I wonder if my Crystal Effects has gone a bit gunky. I'm only putting 3 in at the top. So there we go. Extra bit of texture there, just for extra brownie points. What do you think? I quite like that. In fact, I love it. There we go. I'm going to leave it and not play anymore, otherwise I might risk ruining it. But hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for being with my journey of deciding what I was going to make. Don't forget to go and check what everyone else has made. You can find their links below. Everything I've used today is available to purchase from www.slimandstylish.stampingup.net. If you have joined me from someone else's video hop and you've liked what you've seen, please do subscribe and stick around. If you like the project, do give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye everyone. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. All items that I have used on this video are available to purchase from my store, www.slimandstylish.stampingup.net. Alternatively, if you would like a copy of our catalogues, please send me an email to slimandstylish@live.co.uk or leave me a comment below and I'll get in touch with you. I upload regular content to this channel, so if you do enjoy watching my tutorials, please make sure that you have subscribed and rang the bell to get notifications when new videos go live. Thank you for joining me and have a lovely day.